All right, friends, welcome back to another class of SAT. And today is a big day. We are doing the last day of writing. So let's get as much learning out from writing as possible. I have really enjoyed the people. It's made me smile so much. Those of you that sent me an email saying Pulkit Bhaiya, it makes me very happy. So I really appreciate you all doing that. It truly made my weekend. So thank you to those people. I sent out an email this weekend asking you all to register for the SAT. So I'd love to know if you have already registered for the SAT. Okay, awesome. 20 people have registered for the SAT. That's amazing. Just please make sure to email me and let me know what date you've registered for. I'd love to know. For those of you that haven't, I'm sure you will do so soon. So that's okay. Up to you guys. And then the other. Yeah, okay. All right, that was it. That's it for the intro. We're going to jump in with math again, and I'm going to do another poll because please, I really need you to follow the instructions. So do you promise? Do you all promise to follow the instructions that we reviewed in math? Here's a question. Do you promise? Yes, this makes me so happy. We have 79, 80, 85. Okay, we have 94% of you promised. 6 people are not promising. So either you've not been here, or you're trolling me, or you're wasting both of our time. So please just follow the instructions, okay? This is very simple. I've laid it out for you. So let's do this question. And we are going to, I'm putting the instructions right here. Okay, please remember to read the question, write down the ask, write down the type of question, and then follow these approaches before you do the question, okay? In this order. So we're gonna do question 9 today. Let's do 9. Okay, if you, oh, let me change this 1 second. Should be better. Yeah. If you already get the answer, I'm opening the poll 1 second. If you already get the answer though, I want you to spend time thinking of a different way to find the same answer. I'll just do it this way for now. I want you to think of a different way to get the same answer. And this is like, we're in the calculator section, so you can use your calculator. All right, another 10 seconds. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Okay, we got many answers at the end. All right, I will do the reading myself today. This is a pretty basic one. So let's do the reading. In this year, maybe it's important, Olympic Games, Olympic marathon was lengthened from 40 to 42 kilometers. So I'll do length 40 km to 42 km. Remember, units and values, okay? This is L, we write down the length. Of the following, which is the closest? Closest, remember, if we see closest, that means we're not looking for the exact answer, something similar. So closest, we went over this once, to increase in distance of the Olympic marathon in miles. So we want it in miles. So ask is increase in length in miles, or in formula terms, we have to do 42 km minus 40 km in miles, okay? So you could, so let's start with this one, this option first. Let me do blue. This option first, eliminate MCQ. Well, definitely it's not going to be 1, right? Because we're doing 2 kilometer in miles. So it's 2 kilometer. If we do the equation, remember the units work we did? Times 1 mile over 1.6 kilometer. Okay, if we do it like that, then we can cross out km, and we're left with miles. So remember this approach. We've also talked about this once. Okay, so it's definitely not going to be 1. It's also going to be closer to 1 because 1.6 is pretty close to 2, so it cannot be D. And then you're left with B or C. So now we can try and plug and chug. So plug and chug, doing 2 divided by 1.6 is harder than doing 1.25 times 1.25 times 1.6. What do I mean by 1.25 times 1.6? I can just add 1.6 here and calculate both of these and see which one equals to 2. Right? Does that make sense? This equation here is the same as me doing these answer times 1.6. And so just by looking at this, I can tell it's not going to be C, it's going to be B. So I don't even need to do any math to get this answer. So that's one approach. The other approach is you could do it in terms of formula, which is x over 2 is equal to, what is it? 1.6 over 1?
No, it's the opposite. It's 1 upon 1.6.
1 over 1.6. Thank you. This one, I always struggle with this one, but this is the, what's the name? Is there a name for this? If you know a name, you can write this down in chat of this approach. And then the other approach is that you can try and solve this. So let's do another approach. Well, let's do orange. So you can try and solve this. So this becomes 2 over 1.6, which is approximately equal to 2 over 1.5, right? So this becomes 2 over 1.5 becomes 1.33. And so this is a little tricky. Let me write this down here. 2 over 1.5 equals to 1.33. If I increase the denominator, that means I decrease the answer. Okay, so if I increase from 1.5 to 1.6 in the denominator, I decrease the answer from 1.33, and therefore it has to be 1.25. Okay, now I know some of these, yeah, I think proportional relations, I think that's correct actually. Proportional relations is what this is called. Thank you. Yeah, so I know all of these methods are not great. Obviously, some are better than the others, and some may work, some may be better for you, some may not be better for you. And only then would you then plug it into the calculator. Again, I'm not saying that these methods are better than the calculator. I'm just saying before you start, you should be trying to think about all of these methods and the calculator method and then pick which one makes the most sense for you. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying one is better than the other. Okay, let's go into English from yesterday. We did this question, which I actually realized I made a mistake, so I'm sorry. In my reasoning yesterday, I said that, if you notice here, I said that after sentence 3 does not exist, if you remember that. Let me change it this way. There we go. I said after sentence 3 does not exist, but actually where it is now is after sentence 3. So I made that mistake. Sorry, not yesterday, this was Friday. So the thing to take away from this for me, and maybe for you also, is the where it is now can sometimes trick you. So you can just rewrite it in the same format as the other answers. So when I'm reading this question, I would write down after sentence 3 as well. So I know I'm looking at 1, 2, 3, and 5. Okay, so I don't get tricked up with that. All right, but the logic for this question still stands. If you look at the this, you'll know to put it after sentence 5. Okay, now, before we start today, I want to show you guys a very powerful video. Okay, can you message me if the video starts to lag?
Show me what it looks like to run like a girl.
My hair.
Show me what it looks like to fight like a girl. Now throw like a girl.
Aw.
So do you think you just insulted your sister?
No. I mean, yeah, insulted girls, but not my sister.
My name is Dakota, and I'm 10 years old.
Show me what it looks like to run like a girl. Throw like a girl. Fight like a girl. What does it mean to you when I say run like a girl?
It means run fast as you can.
Swim like a girl, and I walk like a girl, and I wake up in the morning like a girl because I am a girl. And that's not something that I should be ashamed of. So I'm gonna do it anyway. That's what they should do.
If I asked you to run like a girl now, would you do it differently?
I would run like myself.
Would you like a chance to redo it?
Yeah.
Okay, I always find that so powerful. The reason I share that is to stress the importance of words. Words are very, very powerful. And in that video, you can see the words that we use have a huge impact on people around us, okay? This is important because not only do the words have power when we use them with other people, words have power when we use them for ourselves as well. So what we tell ourselves in those words also has power. And what we're doing here in the reading and the writing section is basically learning to harness that power. So it is important. Reading and writing is extremely important because it shows us how we can harness that power that clearly makes such a huge difference. And I think that video is a great example. And I hope you all either were inspired or learned something from that video. So there are some words that we use, and I want everybody to write down in chat a different way to say the same thing, okay? So in chat, I want you to write down a different way of saying, I made a mistake. No, how do we reframe that? How do we reframe a mistake into, there we go, thank you. Bhavani, she put, I learned something new. I love it, thank you. What else can we say when I say I made a mistake? Let's all take a cue from Bhavani and write it in a different way. I can do this better, okay, almost. Let's focus on the learning side of the mistake. Remember we talked about this in the beginning? We want to embrace our mistakes. We want to look at them as learning opportunities. So what can we write? Opportunity to improve. I love it. Chance to improve. I learned from my mistake. I learned something new. I will grow. I love it. Okay, perfect. Thank you. This is a learning opportunity. Okay, the next thing we say is this passage is boring. What can we say instead? No, guys, no, you can't say, I don't like this passage. No. How can we, what can I do to make myself more invested? I love it. Thank you. Who wrote that? What can I do? Thank you, Arya. John, thank you. This passage is interesting. You're right. You can tell yourself that. Words have power. This passage is interesting. This passage will become interesting. I love it. I can learn something new from this passage. Thank you, Risa. You absolutely can. How can I engage myself? Great question, Shreya. This passage is fun. You're right, Vasundhara. Amazing. This passage will get better. No, and Anish, this passage is better. This passage is great already, but I love the direction you're going in. This passage is best. Yes, Aaron, this passage is best. You're right. Fall in love with the passage. Thank you. This passage is the love of my life. Thank you, Akash. Okay, perfect. The next one, I can't concentrate. What do we say instead? I can concentrate. Amazing. I will try to focus. I can focus. I want to read 100 such passages. I love it. I can focus more. I will concentrate. I will learn to concentrate. Amazing. I will try my best to concentrate. I will concentrate. I can avoid distractions. I love it. I will try yoga. Yes. I need to find out how to concentrate. I am a god of concentration. Akshat, you are crushing this task today. Give my 100%. Arya, amazing. I want to keep reading on the topic of the passage. Ahan, I love it. Amazing stuff. Couple more. I don't like this test. What can we say instead? This test is my favorite. Yes, I love this test. I like this test. SpongeBob gave me this test. Yes, Anish, you are my man. I am concentrated as of 400 grams of salt and 2 milliliters of water. I love it. This tells me will help me in the future. Yes, Tanya, this test is captivating. I will marry this test. Aaron, you are on fire today. This is a learning opportunity. I love it, Shreya. I can do it. NN. Great, NN. I will learn from this test. Naman, I can learn to love this test. This test is a growth opportunity. Amazing, Tharani. This is the easiest test. Yeah, I love it. This test is a new fun experience. You're right. If this test was easy, this would be boring, right? Because it's hard. That's what makes this fun. This test will make me learn so much more in my favorite subjects. Thank you, Ahan. All right, one more. This question is hard. What do we say instead? This question is hard. This question is tasty. I love it. Lemon squeezy. This question is soft. This question is amazing. I need to spend more time on this question. Good challenge. Thank you. Yes, I love the reframing there. Good challenge. This question is unique. I love it, Anish. Hard is not in my vocabulary. What a guy. What a legend. I love it. Boy, this is going too fast. I can't even read the names. I will get the answer to this. I will get the answer to this. Yes, you will. I need to think of a solution to this question. Nothing is impossible. I love it. This question will determine my future. So the future ones are a little different. They're putting pressure on you. They're putting pressure on you to perform. I want you to reframe it in the present. You're in the moment now. Don't worry about the future. You are in the present now. Reframe it in the present. I can do this in my sleep. Amazing. Okay, awesome. So words are powerful. Words have a lot of power. Not only the way we use them with ourselves, but the way we use it with other people. That video showed how using those words with different people and using different words with different people can make a big difference, okay? So this is why writing and reading is important. These words are important, and we are learning the skill to put these words together in a certain way to make the biggest impact, okay? This is a powerful and important skill. All right, so let's get started. Let me share my screen and then we will finish up writing today. Big day ahead of us. Okay, so if you remember, so we did 3 things yesterday, or Friday. What did we do? We said square subjects, underline verbs. This is a way to understand the passage if you're not understanding it. But before this, fall in love with the passage, right? That's not on here. We've already done that. Fall in love. Second was ideas. There's 2 types, point of para and point of sentence. We practiced point of sentence. We didn't practice point of para yet. We will do that. And then look at the words. The third was look at the words, conjunctions and pronouns. For conjunctions, pay attention to therefore, otherwise, nevertheless, etc., to understand the change in tone. And pronouns, pay attention to pronouns because you will find out this and it. Know what it is referring to. Know what these words are referring to, and then accordingly assign your sentences. Okay, so we've done question 2, I think a couple times in the past, but I want to do question 2 once more. And essentially, actually, no, we've done question 2 a lot of times. We're not gonna do it again. Okay, we're gonna do question 6. So question 6 is where we are introducing point of para. Remember we have point of para up there. So I want everybody to read this para, which we read last time. And I want you to write down what the point of this para is. You can write it down in your notes. No need to type it into chat. You can just do it in your notes. Okay, you should have already gotten this point. All right, and then read through number 6, and then write down what is the point of the para for, sorry, read through this and then write down the point of the para for this one. Okay, so under P1, para 1, the point of the para was the problem. We talked about the problem of acid whey, and then many solutions. Many solutions were introduced, right? We talked about the problem here, and then to address the problem over here, we have one solution, another solution, and then there are also more solutions over here. Okay, additional solutions here. So we have problem and then solutions. And then P2, we have essentially, what are they saying? They're talking about the benefits of Greek yogurt. Okay, so we're introducing a new type of question today, which is add or delete. So the question type here is add or delete. And I will walk you through the approach of how to do this question. So there's two helpful things in this question. The first you will notice is yes, yes, no, no. And the second thing you will notice is the reason, because XYZ, because XYZ, okay? So you can do both. So let's look at the yes, yes, no, no. So we're going from problems and their solutions to the benefits. So the sentence, so now we look at the point of sentence in between, which is this one, point of number 6. What is it? It's talking about benefits are greater than costs, right? That's what the point of the sentence is. They are well worth the effort. And it starts with though. So though makes sense. You're going from problems to benefits. And so therefore though makes sense. So, so far we think yes and yes makes sense. So we're going to cross out no and no, okay? The other place that we get information from is these definitions. So let's look at these. It does not provide a transition from the previous passage. Well, it actually does. There's a good transition, so we're okay with this one. It fails to support the main argument of the passage as introduced in the first paragraph. So we go up to the first paragraph. First paragraph is just talking about Greek yogurt as an introduction. So, and its popularity. So this has nothing to do with that. So that's why we think this one is incorrect. Because it continues the explanation of how acid whey can be disposed of. Well, we know P2 is not talking about disposal of acid whey. P2 is talking about the benefits of Greek yogurt, so this is also incorrect. And it sets up the argument of the paragraph for the benefits because it sets up the argument of the paragraph for the benefits of Greek yogurt. Okay, so this part is correct, but then it's telling us not to have the sentence. So this and this don't go together. If it does set up the argument for benefits of Greek yogurt, then we will want the sentence. So that's why this and this does not go together. And so we're left with the answer A.
D
Oh, I
is
see what
the
you're saying.
answer for this question.
I see what you're saying. Yes. Okay. You're right. You're right. Sorry, I misread the question. I didn't read the question. Okay. It's talking about deleting. So should we delete? So actually, this makes sense. This is right. So, okay. I'm sorry, folks. We think deleting does not make sense. All right. I hope you all follow that. No makes sense to us, and sets up the argument is also correct. This is also correct, but these ones are wrong. And then here does not provide a transition. Well, actually, this is incorrect because it does provide. Does not is wrong, right? Not is incorrect here. Okay, so sorry, I goofed up, but the point of this is in question, add and delete. There's two things to look at. One is the yes, no, and then make sure you don't make the mistake of misreading the question. So read question properly. And the second thing under add or delete is to look at reason. Okay, now I want to stress, this is not a subset. So notice how we did not cross out A and B and then only look at C and D for the reasons. We looked at all four reasons. So don't do this as a subset. Do yes or no for all four options and then do the reasons for all four options. Okay, and then you are more likely to catch yourself if you make an error in one of the halves. Okay, I'm gonna check in here. Does that make sense? Because I made a mistake in the middle, so maybe that confused you. Does this make sense? Does the approach make sense? Okay, all right, it's making sense to almost all of us. Let's do it. Let's do it once more. Yes, let's do it again. Let's do it for question 28. Okay, so I'll do this one all, together. We'll do this together. So writer is considering deleting the underlined sentence. Should the sentence be kept or deleted? Okay, the underlined sentence is here. So we have kept, deleted, deleted. Okay, so let's take a look at this. So we have at the end of a para. So the point of para. We read this article, this thing. It's talking about co-working spaces. Co-working spaces are locations. Okay, the spaces are stocked with stuff, and spaces include small meeting areas. So it's describing co-working spaces, okay? And then the point of sentence is, sorry, no, let's do it. Then the point of sentence before, which is this one, is what is in the space. And then the point of sentence 28 is cost. So just by looking at this, and again, you don't have to write this down. I'm writing this down because you are, practicing right now. You're practicing the skill, but eventually you should be able to do it in your head. So as we write this down, we can see that describing co-working spaces has not much to do with the cost of the space, right? So therefore we think delete. So we remove kept, and let me just make sure I'm doing this right. Okay, so we think delete, but then, so this is the first part, kept or delete. The second part is looking into every single option or description. So we look at the description. It provides a detail that supports the main topic of the passage. Well, that's not true. The detail does not support the main topic of the passage. It sets up the main topic of the paragraph that follows. Let's see, is that true? The main paragraph is talking about melting pots of creativity. So nope, that's not true, because P2, talking about creativity at co-working spaces. So that's also not true, because it blurs the paragraph's main focus That is true. These two are not related. So this is, blurs is correct. It repeats information that has been provided. Has cost been provided earlier? Let's look at cost. Nope, no numbers, nowhere, yeah. So therefore, it's not repeat. It's not repeat. So we know that the answer is C, okay? So going over the instructions once more. One, look at yes or no using the tools we've discussed. And then the second part is look at all reasons, okay? Now I want you to notice one thing. Notice how looking at the reasons, we also had to look at the description for P2. We had to look at the point for P2. So the important thing here is that these descriptions are important to help you understand which tool to be used. Of the tools that we've gathered so far, the descriptions can help you understand what tool to use. Okay. All right, let's do one more. You guys will do this alone, and then we can move on to the next type of question. So we'll do 42. Okay, let's do 42. I will open up a poll for this one. Okay, another 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. All right, so can you please write down into the chat what tool you would use to answer this question? What tools would you use to answer this question? Okay, great. So we're getting mostly point of sentences. So point of para, so let me help you out here. Point of para is helpful when we are looking at joining two paras. So if we're joining this paragraph and this paragraph, then point of para is most helpful. When all the work is being done within one paragraph, then point of sentence is most helpful. However, having said that, point of para is still important because sometimes the sentence can relate to the previous one, but it doesn't match the point of the paragraph. So they're both correct. But as a default, I would go with point of sentence because we're within the same paragraph. The question before this, however, which was joining two, it was at the end of two paragraphs. Oh, actually, there's another paragraph here. So I guess you could do point of paragraph, actually. Okay, so you get the point. So let's do it. So can someone tell me what is the point of this para? What's the point of P1? Can someone write down in chat? There we go, perfect, okay. Philosophy benefits in other fields. Great. And then the sentence before, so point of sentence before is, let's see, law and business specifically benefit this, but notice the but, philosophy can be useful. Okay, so examples of other fields. And then point of sentence after is that these skills are transferable across professions. Oh wait, this is the same paragraph. Okay, that these skills makes them especially beneficial to 21st century. So what's the point of the sentence? Explain why beneficial. All right, so the point of sentence we are inserting is ancient Greek philosopher Plato, for example. So this is an example. Notice the word here, for example. So you can use the point you can use here is this one, is words, conjunctions, okay, whoops. Conjunctions are what we used here. So notice the for example there. Which question are we at? 42. Okay, for example, wrote many of his works in the form of dialogues. So the example is Plato dialogues. And many of you got this right, so I know I'm just beating a dead horse, but I'm looking at the method. So method one, this does not really relate, so we don't think we should add it. So let's cross out yes and yes. And then let's look at the explanations. So because it reinforces the passage's main point about employability, absolutely not. Neither does it reinforce the main point, nor does it talk about employability. Acknowledges a common counter argument to the passage's central claim. This is not a counter argument because it's for example. Example cannot be counter argument. Because it blurs the passage's focus by introducing a new idea. This is definitely a new idea. Okay, so far so good. And then it undermines the passage claim about the employability of philosophy majors. Does it undermine? No, it's for example. So again, we can cross it out. Okay, so tell me more about these skills. Okay, so someone's saying that these skills are transferable. Oh, I see what you're saying. Pronoun can be helpful, you're right. Because we have a pronoun here, these skills, the sentence before should refer to the skills. And what is it referring to? Thank you, Aparna. It's referring to analytical skills. And so adding this will actually make the pronouns less ideal. That's a good catch. Amazing, amazing, amazing catch. I love it. So these skills and analytical skills. So the pronoun also comes into play. Okay, so we have just done the type add or delete. So in your notes, you should be adding add or delete and the approach for that. Okay, let's do another type of question. We will now do questions talking about graphing. So please do this question. All right, another 10 seconds. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Not too many responses. Whoa, they're all coming in now. You guys. All right. Okay. So these questions are tricky. If you see a diagram question, if you see a diagram / graphing question, this is less English. This is more about just understanding graphs. So essentially all it's asking for is you to look at this graph here and notice, what is it talking about? Fahrenheit, wait, where is it? In summer, average daily temperatures in Greenland can rise to as high to slightly above 50 degrees, which is true. Partially melting the ice. In the winter, the sheet thickens as additional snow falls, and average daily temperatures can drop to, well, what's the lowest point? The lowest point is here, right? So notice average daily low. So we're looking at this graph here, average daily low. Whereas here it's talking about average daily high, which is this one. Well, let me use a different color. You guys get the point. You guys are all amazing at reading graphs. Okay, so these questions are just out to trick you. The main thing in diagrams is solution. How do I write this? Let's do it in purple. Solution is in diagram, okay? That's the biggest takeaway for these questions. So please refer to the diagram very carefully. This is probably not very legible, but you get the point. The solution is in the diagram, all right? Do we all get the point? Let's do a yes or no. Do we all get the point of diagram questions? Okay, fantastic. So we have 97% people say yes, which means if we do another question, you should all get it right, yeah? So let's do this one. Where'd it go? Where's the next? Oh, there it is. Okay, let's do this one. And where is the solution? Can someone write in chat, where's the solution to this question? It's in the diagram. I love it. Okay, great. So let's do this one. We start a poll. Okay, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, this one was slightly tricky. So first we read the paragraph. Whoa, this is so big. Okay, the point of para. This is still too large. Point of para is creative co-working space. Right? We're talking about melting pots of creativity. So that's why the article should support that. So let's look at the options. We have prevent them from completing a task at a given time. This does not relate to the paragraph. So that's why A is incorrect, because it does not relate. We can look at ability to focus. Though both A and D are correct in terms of graph, it also does not relate. Okay, So to the passage. So we're left between B and C. And so I'm actually surprised. So many of you got this right. This is a little tricky. The key here is the title of the passage is, the title of the graph is perceived effect. So notice effect, okay? Perceived effect. So in the answers, here we have credited and increase their creativity. So the C is incorrect because you cannot credit, it's not because of the co-working spaces that they had more ideas relating to business. Does that make sense? It's a little different. It's not because of the co-working spaces. Does that make sense? Okay, let me do a yes or no. Okay, some of you are struggling. So the main thing is, see, notice how there's positive impact, okay? Positive impact and the reason why is different. So you cannot credit it because it's having a positive impact, but it's not the root cause. It's not you cannot credit the ideas because of that space. So that's the biggest difference. But here the word increase their creativity is correct because that is positive impact. That's more related to the diagram. Okay, so the key takeaway is, I know this one was a tricky graph question, but the key takeaway is look at the passage, but also look at the diagram. The diagram is where the solution is. Here the solution lay in this area. Okay, I think we have just a couple more to practice. I want to introduce the last two tools, which we have done already. We've talked about them, we've not written them down yet. So we have 4 tools so far. The last 2 tools are what I like to call flow. Okay, under flow, there is story. And under story, there is subject verb analysis. So the story is just making sure that the story makes sense of the paragraph, of the passage, the story makes sense. And the subject verb analysis is where you box a subject and you underline a verb. And then you make sure that the subjects and the verbs are all related to each other. So I would introduce this at the end because mainly the first 2 tools will be helpful. I should cover everything, but sometimes you may not be able to do anything with the first 2 tools, and that's where you come into the flow tool. So we've already discussed this. I want to touch into this more. So let's do 37. And let's get started. Let me open the poll. You will notice this has a structure very similar to a type of question we've already done. So please follow that approach. I think we've already done this question, but I want you to practice the tools that we've now gathered. All right, 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, perfect. This is making me very happy. You guys have gone much, much better since we started this class together. Okay, so the point of para what's the point of para is so it's like philosophy is good. Okay. Point of sentence before this one. No, sorry, before 37. Point of this sentence is philosophy is why good, right? Point of sentence after, which is this one, is colleges require less philosophy, okay? Require only 18%, so only is a keyword here. And so if philosophy is good, how does it relate to colleges require less philosophy? Then it's opposite. So therefore you can immediately cross out consequently and therefore. So you're left with notwithstanding, or you're left with notwithstanding and however. But then again, remember in the reasons, we look at all the reasons again. Philosophy students have been receiving increasing number of job offers. Does that relate? Does job offers relate to this? Nope, it does not relate. Evidence of colleges increase their offering in philosophy? Well, absolutely not. Colleges are not increasing. They're actually, they're talking about only. Then attractiveness of this course of study, students have registered. So maybe, and then despite its many ultimate benefits, colleges have not always supported the study. So this is correct. This is a perfect link between these two. Why is this one wrong? This one is wrong because attractiveness of this course of study, students have resisted. Students have not really resisted. It's not really talking about students resisting. It's talking about colleges resisting. So there's a question of why I canceled B. So B I canceled, well, because obviously therefore is incorrect. But notice it says because of the evidence, colleges increase their offerings in philosophy. There's no link between these two sentences. This is a separate study and this is a separate point. There's no link, there's no cause and effect link between these two. That's why. Okay, I think we are done with this type of questions. I think we're done. Oh, actually, no, there's one more. Okay, we have to move on. So I will just show you this question. This is very simple. We're talking about self-reinforcing cycle. Cycle means that the first thing equals the last thing, right? So we look at number 20. Okay, so cycle, as the ice melts, the first thing is ice melts. So the last thing has to be ice melts. The answer is D. Okay, so look at these questions very, the big takeaway from this one is take question literally. Okay, so you can write that down in your writing approach. Right, we have covered all of this. Great. We have to move on because I want to show you the summary of the peer notes. So please get ready to take a screenshot. I have updated a summary of peer notes. Okay, so we have the tools. We discussed all of the tools, right? We've already done this. Then the question style, sentence rearrange. We did all of this yesterday. Remember to carefully read the sentence, and then you can use all the tools, whichever ones make sense. We did add or delete today. I added this because I made this mistake today, which is be careful if there's talking about add or delete. Read the explanation to determine best tools. So you can figure out which tools to use by looking at the explanations. Determine yes or no, and then cross out all options. Look at each option individually. And diagram, answers in the detail of the diagrams. Look at it very carefully. Very, very carefully. That's where the answer is. So you can take a screenshot of this. I will give you literally 10 seconds to take a screenshot of this. 4, 3, 2, 1. Great. Okay, and then in your peer notes, you should already have your grammar rules up here. I want to go over the study approach for this. We're finishing up writing. So for the grammar rules, go through each question and find grammar error for each option. We've done this together. And check each question before on Khan Academy, look at the answers, before you move on to the next question. So look at each question one by one. This is very important. You have to check the answers before you move on to the next question. If you want to be an elite at grammar rules, if you missed a rule, print out a passage from the web, any passage, and highlight wherever that rule is used. Okay, so if it's talking about non-essential phrases, highlight every time in the passage where that rule is used. And you can just search a passage. Actually, I'll come back to that. Okay, for the reading passages, practice falling in love before you read anything. Read the passage by boxing subject and underlining words. Again, this is to get you in the habit of noticing the subject and the verbs in a sentence. Then for the same passage, write the point of each paragraph and the point of each sentence. Take the passage and do this exercise. Each paragraph, write the point. Each sentence, write the point. And notice the conjunctions. And does the conjunction match the point of the sentence that you wrote down? This is very important. If one sentence talks about benefits, the other is about cost, does the conjunction match? Or maybe you misunderstood the point of the sentence. Find the subject of each pronoun. Aparna noticed a very great thing today we missed a pronoun. She found the less than 5-second approach of solving that question just by looking at the pronoun. So notice each pronoun and learn to figure out what is a subject associated with that pronoun. And then do this once a day for passages of different genres, ones you like and ones you don't like. So until you are a pro at this, just do one passage a day. And to get a passage, you can literally just search article on arts. Okay, let's see, article on arts. Art World articles. I don't even know what this is. Let's see. Perfect, SF MoMA. Great, let's look at this. So then in the weeks, closed doors to public health serves. Oh, wow. Okay, we have a comma. Okay. So we have a fanboys joining. And then among those making dramatic cutbacks was in San Francisco modern art. So we have among, here we have a modifier, right? And then we have a sentence. So you just print this out and then you do this activity. Okay, I'm not going to do this. You guys get the point. So another 10 seconds for you to write this down or take a screenshot. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. And then very important, please do the, not many of you have done the test yet. Actually, many of you have, there's a couple holding out. Do the writing and do the reading test, paper 5 on Khan Academy, do the writing and reading test. And please print out paper 1 reading section. We will be doing highlighting and underlining, so print it out, have it with you for tomorrow's class. Paper 1 reading section, print it out, okay? This is for homework, so we do the paper 5 writing and reading and submit the scores on the form and then print out paper 1 reading section. Cool, and then I will let you out with another song for today.